a Syrophoenician woman, a Roman centurion, and now a Samaritan woman. Dearly beloved in Jesus Christ, welcome to the reflections of 3rd Lenten Sunday, Year A. Today's Liturgy of the Word presents a beautiful narration of a Samaritan woman's story. Dear friends, from today's liturgy, let us meditate on two important notions. The first, who are these Samaritans? Why do Samaritans and Jewish people do not have anything in common? Secondly, let us meditate on the faith journey of this Samaritan woman who eventually proclaimed Jesus as the Messiah. First of all, who are these Samaritans? When we look into the history of the church, in 720 BCE, Assyrians invaded Samaria. When Assyrians invaded Samaria, they have taken Samaritans into captives, and there they lived for some time. But in this course of their stay in Assyria, these Samaritans slowly adapted the cultures of Assyrians. Even they had intermarriages with Assyrians. Hence, the Samaritans broke the tradition of the Jews who had never intermarriages. They are considered impure race, though they were Jews. Again, in 587 BCE, Babylonians invaded Judah, and Judah was also taken into captives. But Jews from Judah, they kept their identity. They never adapted the cultures of Babylonians. They never had intermarriages with Babylonians. When they were released, around 450 BCE, when they wanted to reconstruct the temple, Jews from Samaria wanted to come and join the Jews of Judah to construct the temple. The Jews from Judah did not allow the Samaritan Jews to come and join them because they considered them as an impure Jewish race. They considered them impure and lower to their degree. Therefore, they don't have anything in common. Even they have different places of worship. For instance, Samaritans worship the Lord on Mount Gerizim, whereas the Jewish people worship the Lord on Mount Sinai. To add further, Jewish people even do not go into the locality in which the Samaritans live. But in today's gospel, we have something very different. Jesus, a faithful Jew, speaks to a Samaritan woman. In the Jewish culture, a man doesn't speak with a woman publicly. But Jesus speaks to a Samaritan woman and also speaks to a woman in public. Therefore, it is a double scandal to the disciples and also double scandal to the people who look at this incident. But for Jesus, this is a faith journey of a sinful woman from her sinful life to a faithful life. From a life where she didn't know Jesus Christ to a life where she could proclaim, "You are the Messiah." That's what I told you in the beginning. Jesus ministered Syrophoenician woman, a Canaanite by birth. Jesus helped a Roman centurion when he came for help. And now, Jesus helps a Samaritan woman. He did this because he broke all the barriers of the human society: cultural, social, color, language, and creed. He preached his disciples to preach the gospel to the entire world, not just by his words, but also by his example. To mention, Matthew 24:14, Jesus tells his disciples, "Go to the entire world and proclaim the gospel to everyone." Again, Mark 16:15 we hear, "Let the gospel be preached to the entire creation." Secondly, it is very beautiful to meditate upon the faith journey of the Samaritan woman from the beginning of the gospel towards the end of the gospel. When we look deep into the gospel passage, we understand her faith journey by the different words that she uses to address Jesus Christ. Initially, she tells, Are you greater than Jacob, the one who gave us the well? Here, she didn't even know to whom she was speaking. That's why she feels like asking, "Who are you?" But in the next verse we hear, she is calling him Sir. She calls, "Sir, you don't have a bucket. How will you take the water?" Our first step from ignorance towards knowing. In the third instance, the Samaritan woman addresses Jesus saying, "I see you as a prophet." And finally, towards the end of the gospel passage, she acknowledged Jesus Christ as the Messiah who came to save the entire human race. She understands that he is the Messiah, and she goes and proclaims in the entire village, "I have found the Messiah who can save the past, future, and present." Just in the time of the small conversation between the woman and Jesus, Jesus could transform her life. When we are with Jesus, when we talk to Jesus, when we journey with Jesus, our life gradually, slowly changes. And this change is from bad to good, from unfaithfulness to faithfulness, from worldly to divine. In nutshell, from the third Lenten Sunday, let's take two important notions for our reflections. The first one, racial discrimination is a social evil and everybody has the responsibility to fight against it. Secondly, when we journey with Jesus Christ, we change our heart from worldly to godly, from sinfulness to faithfulness. That God bless us all. Have a blessed Sunday.